Excel 2016, Module 3, pages 175 through 179, the last video for this tutorial. Okay, the bottom of page 174, read about working with logical functions. It starts on 174 and it goes through most of page 175. Again, this is something you really have to understand, so please make sure you read it. On page 175, to enter the if function to specify whether the corn is ready for harvesting. Click cell K5. All right, here's K, and here's 5. Are we harvest ready? You're going to enter an if function in this cell. On the Formulas tab, if you're not on the Formulas tab, click on it. In the Function Library group, so Formulas tab, Function Library group, click the Logical button right there. And then we want to select if. Okay, the function arguments dialog box for the if function opens. Function arguments, if is what it says right there. And so we're in our logical test box. In our logical test box, enter the expression J5 is greater than or equal to, so J5, okay, you know that little greater than symbol? Make sure that you have the correct one, please. And it's not the less than symbol. So J5 is greater than or equal to the absolute value of B18. The absolute value of B18. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm going to stop and make sure mine is correct. When you have that right, go ahead and press your Tab key. The value, if true, is quotation marks. This time, it does matter whether or not you capitalize, capital Y-E-S, close quotation marks. Okay, quotation marks, capital Y-E-S, quotation marks, tab. And then if our value is false box, quotation marks, capital N, little o, quotation marks. Go ahead and flip to page 176. Look at figure 3-37 and make sure that your function arguments for your if look exactly like it says right here in figure 3-37. When you have it all set, go ahead and hit OK. Now, let's stop and actually read this formula. It says if whatever is in J5 is greater than or equal to the absolute value of whatever is in B18, then put the word yes into that cell. But if it's not true, if it's false, then put the word no into the cell. You use quotation marks because Excel is looking for numbers. If it was going to be a number, we just type the number in. But because it's a text string, you have to enclose it within quotation marks. Okay? You can't just put yes or no. It has to be within the quotation marks. So go take a look at J5. And there's J and there's 5. And then let's take a look at B18. So you can take a look at J5 and you can compare it to B18 and you can see if it's greater than or equal to B18, then it's yes, but it's not. So the answer is no. All right. Once we have that done, move on to step number 7, which is to click on cell K5 and we're going to drag and fill all the way down to 163. All right, 163. Okay, so everything, what it's doing is it's comparing the value in column J to see if it's greater than or equal to what's in B18, right? So, do you see how that works? Let's click down. Now is J6, is J7, is J8 greater than or equal to the absolute value of B18? And we come back with a yes or a no, and you can scroll down and see at what point it actually moves to yes. Okay, do you understand how that works? If you don't, go delete that formula and try it again and make sure that you understand what you're doing and you're not just clicking buttons. All right, page 177, just read a little bit at the bottom of 176 and read all the top of 177. And then we're going to go on to display the harvest date for the corn crop because, man, we are loving working with this corn. Step number 1, we need to go to cell B21, right there, the harvest date. Step number 2, click the Insert Function button to the left of the formula bar and the Insert Function dialog box opens. Step number 3, click the Or Select a Category box and then click Most Recently Used. Double-click your favorite friend VLOOKUP. And that's going to open your function arguments dialog box with a VLOOKUP function. Right there. And we're going to be starting in our lookup value, right? In the lookup value box, type quote, yes, quote. Okay, press your tab key. Very careful in here, making sure that you have your quotation marks and you're spelling correctly and you capitalize the word yes. Okay? In our table array box, select the K and L column headings. All right, so remember if your table array, if your dialog box is laying on top of anything, you need to move it. Just shove it out of your way by grabbing it in the blue and pulling. So for our table array, we want K and L. Okay? So now your table array should read K:L, K through L. Press your tab key. For our column index is 2. And press your tab key. And our range lookup is false. Remember, that means it has to be an exact match. All right, stop right now. Look on page 177, figure 3-39, and compare it to your dialog box you have on your screen, and make sure that everything is correct. And remember, you can see what the answer is going to be right there if the value is going to be correct, and the book tells you what it should be. So make sure it's correct, and when it is, go ahead and click OK. And you get the answer, 9/5/2017. Got it? If you don't, try it again. And also, please make sure that you can go and you can read this formula. Okay? You can go and you can read the formula and see if you understand what it's doing. So what it said is, if you find the word yes, right, in K through L, go to column 2 in our table array and make sure it's an exact lookup. Got it? Okay. Go ahead and turn over to page 178. And it just says, click cell B15. All we're going to do now is show you what happens when you change this. Because remember, this was in our original VLOOKUP, what we were looking up. And we're just going to change this to CS6489. CS6489. Press your enter key, and you'll watch everything jump and change. And that's just to show that it actually does work correctly. If you want to know if it worked correctly, look at page 178, figure 3-40, and compare what's on your screen to what they have in that figure, and that'll tell you whether or not it worked correctly. Okay, save it, and that's the last video, and you're finished.